Yeah, no doubt, Israel. Let's get on into it quickly. This black woman, this brown sister, she about in her 50s or some shit. The peace and safety president, Mr. Joe Biden, he's named her the ambassador to the United Nations. And I said, well, wait a minute. The United Nations? What niggas, what nation do the niggas represent? There is not one nigga that represents us at the United Nations. So when I saw her being named ambassador to the United Nations, I said, damn, that's irony if I ever heard it. All right? And so it's a clear example of Psalm 83. Let's read that a little bit. It says, lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, Israel, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no longer in remembrance. Let's cut them off from being a nation. So what the fuck is this sister doing being the ambassador to the United Nations when we have no spot at the table? For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. They all together. You understand that, Israel? Tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, Moabite, all these motherfuckers. Same people then, same people now. So I got to thinking about it. I said, that's some ironic shit that this sister would be named by the peace and safety president, what I call him, to be the ambassador to a United Nations that does not have a place to represent niggas at that United Nations. So we're not represented. All right. This woman doesn't realize, or is acting as if she doesn't realize, that the UN, black people have no nation to represent them. We just heard it in Psalm 83. To cut them off from being a nation. And we have been cut off from being a nation. But this bitch is up here being an ambassador to the United Nations. The people of the Heavenly Father don't sit at that table. Okay. Here she sits in this picture on the thumbnail. She's smiling and laughing it up with her master and her rapist. All for an opportunity to simply run her goddamn mouth. That's all they do is talk. Yap, yap, yap all day long. Now, this sister errs not knowing the scriptures. Hamashiach told us, you err not knowing the scriptures. So this sister obviously does not know she's Israel. She out here doing whatever the fuck she want to do. All right? Like I said, black people have no nation to represent. All right? Like I said, her master and her rapist is who she's sitting up here cheesing all in front of. Bitch, you don't remember what the fuck they did to your mother and your grandmother and great-grandmother and all them? You don't remember them? They bought us over here on slave ships? They say that shit every day. Had us in slavery and all that shit. But you gonna be the ambassador to the UN? Take heed of these things, Israel. I just thought I'd bring you the message because we have to realize that these people these days, they are confederate against us and they are trying to cut us off from being a nation. While they still ask our sisters to be an ambassador to the United Nations. How are they united and we ain't there? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, people? This is all bullshit. We're going to get into some more things. We're going to talk about these things because it's very dangerous out here right now in the end times because all of these other nations, just like we read in Psalm 83, they cooking up this plot continually against Israel. And I thought that was real disingenuous to have this sister be the goddamn ambassador to the United Nations. They know we don't have a seat. When the fuck we ever had a seat at the United Nations? So stop it. I wish I could get this message to that sister and we could tell her that she's a Hebrew. Of course, she'll probably deny that shit. Thinking she came out some goddamn, so what that shit is, where we came from apes and all that shit, and the chart with the men with the chart with the man with the hump in his back, and then they keep going down and he stands up straight. She believe in that type of bullshit. All right. So I wanted to bring this message to you guys to know that this is a part of our job to watch and pray always that we be that we be accounted worthy to escape the things which must shortly come to pass. 19th chapter of Matthew. All right. So we know that, and we gotta always watch. We gotta watch and pray always that we be accounted worthy to escape the things that must shortly come to pass. And so this sister, she can't be watching and praying. All right. So, all right, Israel, get back at me. We'll talk about it. 313-588-1423. Again, 313-588-1423. You know it. Shalom, Israel.